These are 7 best opening traps you must know. Getting started with a simpler one. e4, c5, Sicilian defense, knight f3, e6, d4, e takes d4, knight takes d4. You have this cunning knight f6 move. Now it looks very tempting to push e5, attacking this knight. But this is a trap, and you have queen a5 check, simply winning a pawn. And in this case, you have a clear advantage without any compensation for white. Second trick starts with Caro-Kann defense. e4, c6, d4, d5, knight c3, d takes e4, knight takes e4. Knight d7, we have this interesting move, queen e7. If your opponent plays a natural looking move, knight f6, surprisingly, you have knight d6, smothered mate. You have this fantastic mate in 6 moves. This is good to know for every chess player. Even if your opponent doesn't fall for it and plays something e6, then you have bishop f4 and you have a good attacking chances. You can castle in the queen side and your position is still better. Moving on to the third trick, we're gonna discuss the similar idea like the previous one. Smothered mate idea also exists with the black pieces. Starts with d4, knight f6, c4. This is very often played lines from white. Here the fun starts with e5. White will happily accept this pawn as it comes with a tempo on the knight. Knight g4, now we are attacking this pawn. Most natural way for white to develop the knight or bishop. In both cases, we have knight c6 attacking this pawn twice. Now the bishop comes out, bishop b4 check. Obviously, at this position, white doesn't want to play knight c3 as it ruins the structure of pawns. So naturally, knight bd2 would be played. Queen e7, attacking this pawn thrice. Many a times, white will play a6 to get rid of this bishop because it is pinning the knight. You have this stunning idea, knight takes e5, sacrificing the bishop. And if your opponent goes for your free bishop, then you have a similar mate idea, smothered mate, and it is just in 8 moves. This is the fourth opening trap and the most interesting one of this video. Starts with e4, e5, knight f3, knight c6, bishop c4, knight f6, the 2 knight defense. Your opponent often goes for f7 pawn, knight takes e4. Of course, after knight takes e4, d5 wins your piece back with a much better position. Therefore, the most natural looking move here is to capture the f7 pawn, attacking the rook and the queen. Queen h4. Now we are threatening mate in 1. White castles, bishop c5. If white happily accepts your rook, then this is completely lost position for white. Capture the pawn with the rook. We are attacking this queen, so when the queen moves, this is checkmate in 3 moves. You have to deliver this knight g4 check. Check is with the bishop, so this rook should block. Queen h2, check, king c1, and we deliver this wonderful checkmate, queen h1. Let's see other lines. If after this move, white tries to accept this knight, then we can capture on f2 with a check. Once the king moves, then we have this d5. Bishop captures, bishop g4. Obviously, king, this bishop cannot be captured because it is checkmate in 1. So obviously this bishop will have to retreat back. Then after captures, obviously the same happens if you capture with the queen. This is checkmate. So this pawn will have to capture it. Now the knight jumps forward, attacking this pawn. So if white is not careful and play any random move, then definitely this is checkmate in 1 now. And you can easily deliver a wonderful checkmate. So obviously after this move, the best move for white is to play queen g1. Now we deliver few checks with the queen, and now we trade the queens. Not this check, you have this wonderful check, and when the king moves you can win the rook, and also in the next move you are going to win this knight. Moving on to the 5th trap, which starts with e4, e5, knight f3, knight c6, bishop b5, the Roy Lopez, a6, the Morphy defense. After the bishop retreats, d6 sets a trap for white. Now we are inviting d4, d5 to win this knight, as this is pinned with the bishop. So d4, first kick this bishop away, bishop b3, knight takes d4, knight takes d4, e takes d4. And if white goes for the capture with the queen, then definitely this is the lost position for white. Let's see, c5, and in the next move we are preparing c4 to trap this bishop. So most of them will go for queen d5, which delivers checkmate in 1 and attacks the rook as well. So bishop e6, which prevents both the threat. Now the queen is under attack. If the queen moves on any other square, then definitely c4 wins a piece. So white delivers check, again prevent with the bishop. White will try to repeat the position, but definitely this time you have this pawn to c4. Now this bishop is trapped. By maneuvering this bishop from there, we have created this idea as this rook is protected by this queen. Moving on to the 6th opening trap. This is the most fantastic one. It starts with e4, e5, knight f3, knight c6, bishop c4, knight f6. Knight jumps on g5 square, attacks this f7 pawn. d5, e takes d5, knight d4, d6, opening up this diagonal so that it can have again attack on f7 square. Queen takes d6, and white will happily accept the f7 pawn, and white will think that it is winning the game, but this is not the case. You can easily win this game after queen c6. Now you are attacking this bishop, also the pawn on g2. Most tempting move here is to capture the rook. Then you capture on g2, attacks this rook. If white tries to save it, then this is lost position. After this check, there is no good move, and retreat this bishop on e2 square. Then you give this wonderful smothered mate. This is the most fantastic one. So after this, let's see the more resilient way. If white goes for the castle, then you can win the bishop, and after white captures the rook, you can win the pawn on c2, and after several exchanges you will be able to win this knight, and you have a completely winning position from here. This knight is going to jump on c7 square in the next move, and also this knight is not going anywhere. This is the 7th and perhaps the best opening trap of this video starts with e4, c5, knight f3, knight c6, d4, c takes d4, knight takes d4, then d6, knight c3, e5, striking in the center to push this knight away, knight db5, h6. If black plays any random move other than this knight or this pawn, then surprisingly you have won this match, and I should congratulate you. Let's see. h6. After you jump on knight d5, you are threatening this check, fork the rook and the king. So obviously most natural move would be rook b8. Again you deliver this check, and when the king moves, surprisingly you have checkmate in 2. This queen check on g4 square, there is only one legal move, and you deliver this wonderful checkmate. And obviously after this move, if black tries to deliver a check, this doesn't help anyone, because this knight is protected with this bishop, and this queen will have to retreat. Again the same scenario will happen, and you deliver this check, and again this is checkmate in 2 moves. Let's see the most resilient way. If black plays the most accurate move after this, then you again jump on d5. This is the best move, capture captures, because again at this point of time you were threatening c7 check, win the rook. So after captures, this knight should move, and you strengthen your pawn in the center. And the most tempting move here, it looks like this pawn to a6, but this is a mistake and you have completely won this match. Let's see. Queen a4. Now we are threatening some discoveries, also pinning this pawn. It cannot be captured as black will lose the rook. So most tempting move here would be to pin this knight, but again this is a fantastic checkmate, and this is smothered mate. So what are the other possibilities after here? Queen should also block, but you deliver this check. This queen cannot go for the capture because this knight is delivering check, and this queen is pinned with this queen. So obviously the king should move, and after delivering few of the checks, you go for the capture and you win the rook on h8 square. So completely winning position for white. So how was the video? You can consider subscribing my channel, and I will see you soon in my next video with these kind of tricks.